sooner or later, everybody needs a new phone. A phone that will change your life. A phone that will make you a better-looking, more popular person. A phone that will break new boundaries and change the technological world as we know it. Well, this phone
really isn't it. For the last 5 years, I've been getting along absolutely fine with my iPhone 6s. But 5 years into the Apple ecosystem, and with my 6s getting a little tired now, I thought the time was right for a change. But what to go for? Well, the iPhone SE really caught my attention with its similar form factor and, for Apple, knockdown pricing. I decided to go for the basic 64GB model in product red. Not only does it look so darn good on film, but as a Marvel fan, it also reminds me a bit of Iron Man's costume. Placed next to my 6S, you'd be forgiven for thinking you were looking at the same old phone. The same 4.7-inch screen, the same old comforting home button. But turning to the back, we start to see the differences. The Apple logo in shiny metallic silver has been moved to the centre of the body. There are no horizontal lines anymore across the top and bottom. Instead, we have a completely smooth surface until you get to the single camera lens, which is slightly larger and in a different position, closer to the edge of the casing. At the bottom of the device, we wave goodbye to the headphone jack in favour of a second stereo speaker. The headphones provided do come with a lightning connection, but I suppose Apple would be more happy if you splashed out some more cash on a pair of Airpods. So if you are upgrading from the 6S, you will need to buy a new case, but there are lots of cheap and durable ones available. Of course, one major price point concession is the smaller, older screen. But if, like me, you're not a gamer or someone who consumes most of their content on the go, it won't bother you that much. And the convenience and pocketability of a smaller phone matter more than screen size. Another big reason for going with the SE was the retention of the physical home button. Now there's no Face ID, but for the first time I am using Touch ID on a phone, and I'm really enjoying the upgrade. As for durability, it's early days, but I can't count the number of times I've dropped my 6S with no ill effects, and I'm sure the same will be true of the SE, with its combination of Gorilla Glass and aluminium body. On the inside, the iPhone SE is rocking the latest and fastest chip on any smartphone, the A13 Bionic. That's right, the same chip as on the flagship and far more expensive iPhone 11. It makes for a smooth and seamless experience, with apps opening at lightning speed. The most intensive app I use on the go is Darkroom, and on the SE there's absolutely no lag between photo edits, and exports to other apps like Instagram are hassle-free. As for the rear camera, I prefer the simple look of a single lens. I'm just not really into the aesthetic of multiple lenses on Apple devices. For me, it seems to go against the whole less is more ethos that originally drew me to Apple. Essentially, this is the same main lens as on more expensive iPhones, with one big software exception: night mode for low light situations. On the upside, we do have intelligent HDR, making blacks blacker and highlights a lot less blown out, a major improvement on my 6S. There's also portrait mode now on the front and rear camera, with 6 lighting modes to choose from, and the ability to choose how much you want to blur the background before and after taking the shot. We have improved image stabilization in video mode and up to 240 frames a second in HD slow motion, although image quality does tend to suffer a lot at the top end. On the rear camera alone, we now have 4K at up to 60 frames a second, and this might come in handy for me if I need to grab some quick B-roll on the go and get it to match up with my main camera later on. External sound comes from the 2 stereo speakers and the earpiece speaker. It's hard on such a small device to spot any noticeable difference between the sound quality of this and the 6S, but it does seem to be a bit louder overall. As for the battery, Apple are claiming 13 hours of video watching from a single charge. I found it just fine for an 8-hour working day, but come the evening I do have to plug it in again. The 5-watt charger supplied with the unit is slow for this day and age, but you can pick up bargain 18-watt fast chargers that will get you from 0 to 50% in 30 minutes. And don't forget the SE also supports wireless charging. The SE comes with Wi-Fi 6 capability. Now all kinds of amazing things are being promised by Wi-Fi 6, such as increasing the number of devices you have connected in your house and big improvements in browser speed. but just remember that networks and hardware, like routers, will have to catch up with this. But it's great to have this piece of future-proofing built in. So after a month with the iPhone SE, who do I think it's actually for? Well, if you're looking for a groundbreaking, cutting-edge phone, this really isn't the one for you. You might as well just remortgage your house and buy an iPhone 12. I think the SE is aimed very precisely at two groups of consumers. Firstly, people like me, who hang on to their phones for years. People who love the compact form factor, the home button, and the lightning connection. We're not gamers or into augmented reality, so we don't care about a bigger screen. We just want a tough, reliable little phone with software updates guaranteed for the next 5 years, and a few added extras, like a better camera, a bit more storage, and a faster chip. But the people Apple are really keen on are the people who decide to migrate from Android. They've been thinking of jumping ship for a while now, but they've always found Apple a bit overpriced for what they really need from a phone. And in uncertain times, we're all thinking a lot harder about what we spend our money on, or whether we need to spend it in the first place. So the iPhone SE could make a big impact.